The one thing I will complain about, and I always will complain about, is the bad refereeing. And, I will say right now I am a little jaded. Okay, I've mentioned a couple times on the podcast, but I'm in the midst right now of putting together an article pertaining to Devin Booker and his technical fouls. He currently has 9 technical fouls on the season, so he's one shy of 10. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm setting everything up so once he has his 10th technical foul, I can release the article on Bright Side of the Sun. Mm-hmm. And what I'm doing is I've gone back and I'm analyzing every technical foul that he's got. So know that coming into this game, as I'm, on the back end of writing this article, I'm really referee biased right now. And I'm going to admit that right off the bat. Right. I'm complete referee biased because as I look at the technical fouls that Devin Booker has accrued throughout the season, I'm trying to, it's hard. I'm saying, okay, are these valid? Almost every one of them is valid. Almost every one. Because he'll do something stupid. He'll throw a ball, or he'll say something to a ref,
or he'll get him barking.
Yeah, too much chirping. Mm-hmm. But what you do is when you really start to analyze not just the foul, but everything that's occurred around it, it's almost justified because the referees, they start to take his chirping personal, and they no longer have the ability to be impartial. And as I've navigated all these different fouls, there's one where, for example, Dario Saric just gets completely hacked on a play against the Nets by Shamet and Jeff Green. Booker's on the bench, and he just stands up and starts barking at the ref, and he steps on the court. So they tee him up. So it makes sense why he got teed up. But it's like the non-call is why he got frustrated and upset. And then so coming into this game with that premise, that I see bad refereeing right off the bat, essentially. You have the way that the second half ended, where there's a tip or there's a jump ball with 4.5 seconds left on the shot clock, and Denver wins the tip. It gets tipped around a little bit, and they finally get a shot off, and they hit it with 3 seconds left in the quarter, and it ends up being a 3-point play.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I could really go off. I was really frustrated, man. I see Booker going down. He's getting hacked. He's getting fouled. No calls. Kudos to Booker for not getting a tech tonight. I thought tonight was going to be the night because they're swallowing their whistles on one end. And then you have the Raptors, and kudos to the Raptors. They're a professional team who knows how to draw fouls. Right. Pascal Siakam, shut the fuck up. Every play this guy is screaming. If you just go back and watch some of the plays. Every game he leads with his arm. He goes into the defender with his arm, creates the contact, and then screams. And I just want to make sure he's okay because he might have a scraped knee or something or a scab that people are touching. I mean, what did you see tonight from the refereeing?
Same thing we've been seeing all season. I mean, you just said it perfectly. You went on a famous Suns Geek rant, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. But
snip that and put it on your channel.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking of doing. But you know what? I will say this. I feel like when you say Booker's, valid of all those technical fouls, you're absolutely right. Because I said he's barking, and he does that a lot. And you know what? This is another subject for another time, but DeAndre Ayton's guilty of that too.
Oh, yeah.
The problem with DeAndre Ayton is that he doesn't get back on defense while he's complaining about the foul. But, yeah, it's just I don't know what it is, man. Just the referees always attack the Phoenix Suns, and we can no longer use the Booker doesn't get all-star. Well, I mean, we can, but Booker is an all-star is what I'm saying now.
But he doesn't get the treatment that an all-star should, Exactly. There was one play where he drove to the basket. He got fouled by some guy I've never heard of, and then he turns and he starts barking at the ref and accidentally kicks the ball, and he gets teed up for it. And it's just like I'm seeing these things, and it's just I don't understand them. And I know that every fan of every fan base has the same complaint that I do. The refereeing in the NBA is garbage. I think we all know that. But it's just so frustrating to see night in and night out, especially when you have a team in the Phoenix Suns, which is last in the league in free throw attempts per game. It's more prevalent because you see these plays, you see the calls that are happening on one end where a guy's leading, screaming, and not getting fouled. And, he'll do a spin move, not get fouled, and they'll call it. And then Devin Booker goes down, and there's 3 guys on him, and they're like, nope, none of them touched him. He just dove to the ground, apparently. I don't understand.
Another thing, too, that really bugs me is the late whistles. And with all due respect to Eddie Johnson one time backed up the referees. Like, this is why there's late whistles. I'm like, Eddie, don't be backing up the referees.
Yeah, please
don't.
And
I get it. Maybe every once in a while you are going to miss. I get it. These referees are human beings, even though they're not. They are robots who are out to get the Phoenix Suns. But the late whistles bug the crap out of me. That's stuff that I would go on a rant on. But you're 100% right. And we all know this. It's even before the Phoenix Suns had Chris Paul, there was just some attack against the Phoenix Suns when it comes to the referees. We get no calls, especially Booker in his early days. It's bad all around the league. Let's be real. It is bad all around the league. It is something that Adam Silver and Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum need to address, and they need to address it fast. That's the reason all these people on Twitter, whether or not they're trolling, are blowing up the NBA's Twitter and blowing up the NBA referees' Twitter accounts, because it's true. I've made videos on it. There's probably thousands of other YouTubers that have made videos on poor officiating. It's bad in the NBA. Fix it, Adam Silver, please.
And we've literally lost like 2 games because of it. I mean, you have the Denver game where there was a blatant travel they didn't call that led to a 3. And then the one that's not so, you don't know if you win the game. But when Devin Booker was fouled on the 3-pointer against Gordon Hayward, and that would have tied the game. And again, the only reason I really bring this up is because the Suns are 30th in the league in free throw attempts and 3rd in the league in free throw percentage. When we hit the playoffs, we're going to have the ability to get to the line. Now, part of this is the Suns. The way that they play the game, they don't yell and scream and fall all over the court like other teams. And I want to say maybe they should, but then I don't want them to get injured. Like when Mikal Bridges and Chris Paul went down tonight, how did you feel?
Scared.
Terrified, right?
Even late in the game when Chris Paul like plopped to the ground, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he just like went down like that. I was like, oh no. Chris, are you okay?
Exactly.
So we need to figure something out in an effort to try to get to the line more, because we're so effective at the free throw line. And when you hit the playoffs, that's going to be free points in the playoffs. I mean, you can't get better than that. And this team is capable of doing that. So, but they need a little bit of help from the referees. And I think that part of that is you have Devin Booker, and just the way that he approaches the refereeing game to game is aggressive. It's mean, and they don't take kindly to it. And again, they allow their emotions and egos to get in the way of what's impartial and call and right. So Rant over officially